They call it a Cavaliance in Cleveland, and that's what the Cavs did in the second half tonight. Are you withholding your laugh at Cavaliance?
No, it was good. It was really good.
Cute. Cute.
Went off prompter for that one, I noticed.
The Cavs were down 2 at half, outscored the Wolves 83-69 in the second half, went on a 12-0 run, a 10-0 run in the third, and went on to score 47 points in the fourth quarter. What was working for them offensively, Swin?
I think they were doing an excellent job of getting into the paint. I mean, they had 68 points in the paint, and a lot of that damage was done by their bigs actually inside. I thought getting more momentum, when you start shooting the ball well outside, the floodgates just open up for Jared Allen, for Mobley. Those guys are able to get easier baskets at the rim, and I thought they just did an excellent job of not only making shots, but going inside in and out.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it at the half. If you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, you feel pretty good because you got points in the paint, you got to the free throw line, you just weren't shooting the ball really, really well. And Swin nailed it. I mean, you start shooting the three well.
It looks
things
good.
Changed. 66% in the second half helps a lot. But I just like that they kind of stayed with their game and they stayed aggressive. They didn't kind of splinter early in the first half and start jacking threes and going hero ball. They just stuck with it, and it's a good win for them.
Quick decisions for me. You know, they made quick decisions. They got off the ball. They got teams in rotation. Then they're really good at that. When they get teams in blender and they're rotating and they're always late, that's when their three-point shooting starts to go up a level. And you got that interior presence of Mobley and Allen. So I thought they played very well, especially in the second half.
A lot being said, rightfully so, about just this start for the Cleveland Cavaliers, but it feels like we're beginning to see glimpses of really what they can look like at their highest level, Steve.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think this is a tale for them of, like, getting healthy. But then who are we? Like, are we a defensive team? Are we an offensive team? How do we find the balance at both ends? You know, offensively, even though they haven't been at their best, they're still a pretty good offensive team because they have talent. But defensively, when are they going to get this kind of mentality of, like, this is what we got to hang our hat on to go deep in the playoffs? Because the East is open. But they have to decide that we're a defensive team. We're going to be physical. We're going to get into the ball. We're going to keep people out of our paint, and we're not going to give up transition opportunities.
Yeah, they have the bodies for it. Like they have length. They have guys to guard in the perimeter. So I think you're right. Just making that a staple every single game, so you know what you got on the defensive end. I mean, not every night you're going to have 5 guys go for 20 or more. With Jared Allen with 16. So you know, it's those moments for me. But both of these teams sometimes where, if you're not scoring the ball well, like you have to have something else. And that's sort of what we haven't seen, is like that offensive identity where they can still get in the paint, they can still get to the free throw line and put pressure on teams and stay in games when they're not shooting from three well.
Look, and I love the fact they scored a lot of points here today. But the thing for me is, when you're injured, when you have 21 different starting lineups, control the controllables. And the thing you can't control is defense. How you play defense, how you show up every single night can give yourself a chance. Now, you may not have the size, the talent, all those different things come into play, but people know exactly how you're going to show up. And that can lead to you being in games down the stretch. And you have somebody like Spider that's played in all the games. He's playing high minutes. We talked about it earlier, Blake. You have a guy that can go get it at the end, but you got to keep yourself in games, and you do that with your defense, no matter who's on the floor.
And it was nice to see that Donovan Mitchell was not having to overextend himself in this game. To your point, it was really a collective effort. Why is that also really good for Don to see they are able to win these games if we all just do that effort?
Listen, I don't know about y'all, but in that third quarter, I was just a fan excited. You see Donovan going for his. I actually thought Ant, on the other hand, doing that hurt Minnesota somewhat because he was trying to get offensive plays. But when you have guys that can go get it, that's a moment when you know to insert that in the game, and then everybody else starts eating. And for Donovan, early on in the season, he had to do so much more, right? It felt like at times trying to press a little bit, try to get guys involved. But when he's playmaking and letting it come to him, he's just so good for this team. And other guys built confidence off of your star player, making sure they're all involved.
Yeah, you know who else has been good? Jalen Tyson, his 5th 20-point game of the season. How big has the bench been for them, Steve?
It's been good. You know, a lot of guys, like I said in the pregame, are developing players. Tyson, one of them. You know, I think he's a player that can be make a big impact both sides of the ball. You know, he's a versatile defender, can be physical, get up inside primary ball handlers, or be able to be a great player in closeouts. So it's really important for them to have guys that come off the bench that can also make plays on offense, but can hold it down defensively.
For the Timberwolves, what surprised you about how they came out tonight?
Just a little flat in the second half. And Swin kind of touched on it, but you know, when things get bad for both of these teams, they sort of splinter and try to go on their own a little bit. And I think we witnessed that from Minnesota. You know, Ant has to take over games. I thought he did a really good job of imposing his will. He also got downhill, got some baskets, some easy baskets to sort of keep them in it. But I think there was too many times where there was maybe a hit ahead or a catch in the corner, and it was try to ISO, try to get to the cup, and ended up in a turnover. You know, that was kind of another difference. I think Cleveland took care of the ball tonight. Minnesota, 15 turnovers, and I think a lot of those came just from forcing the issue.
And keep in mind, guys, too, whenever your main guy's cooking, your mentality also on the court has to switch up. So if you're DiVincenzo and you've been hitting shots early on and you don't get a lot of touches, you still have to defend. You still have to do those other things and come along with Ant how he was playing. But, I mean, that's the balance of having a star player that can go get it. He's on the ball a little bit more. How do you insert the other guys and keep them really into the flow offensively?
Steve, what did you see from Julius Randle on this one? They won his minutes by 31 on Thursday, lost them by 20 tonight.
Just didn't seem himself tonight. You know, felt a little rushed. You know, I think he had some matchups where typically he might be able to get the better of a guy or get an advantage. Tonight he seemed to struggle to get that advantage, bobbled the ball in situations. So there just wasn't a clean game from him. Sometimes we have those type of nights. Now it's about the team effort. How can we all come together and get more stops? For Minnesota, when a night when maybe a guy like Julius doesn't have his A game, you got to get stops. You can't give up 146 points.
This is where I feel like Minnesota could really use a secondary ball handler playmaker, right? Not named Julius Randle. We know when Ant goes out, it's Julius, but you know, that could serve them well moving forward.
I'm Taylor Rooks with NBA on Prime. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to see interviews with your favorite players, experience the most exciting moments from around the league, and see what the NBA on Prime crew is up to all season long. And remember, you can hang out with us live each week during the NBA season, only on Prime.